Did you know that a person going through a heartbreak can actually break their hearts? That is, they can actually develop cardiac diseases or even stroke. These are all very real examples where our mind became confused between emotional and physical pain and it blurred the line in between. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Bird's Eye View, and I'm your girl, Aditi. Although we started on a grim note, but today we are going to learn something very interesting about emotions. We are going to see how our emotions not only stay limited in our heart or in our mind, but it also stretches itself into various physical manifestations in our very own body. Let us first see what exactly is an emotion and how does it generate within us. Emotion is a mental state brought on by neurophysiological changes. Now, hold on. What exactly is neurophysiological changes and how does it even work? So, emotion is generated when we come in contact with the external environment. There are certain objects that happens to it. Now, how does an object happen to someone? Object by in itself means that it's a rigid item. No. So when I say object, I don't only mean physical stable objects. Like for example, this chair, it's an object. However, for me, as my true self, everything else that I encounter in the external environment is also an object. So me recording this video on the camera, this experience is an object. I hope you get the point. So we encounter different objects in our life. Now, every object has a certain connotation to it. That means every object impacts us emotionally in different ways. Let's again take another example, a simpler one at that. Imagine you are studying in elementary school, say class 3 or 4. Now, all of us had weekly tests, right? Unit tests. For instance, one week you got a 10 on 10 score on your test. Your teacher was very pleased with this and she decided to applaud you in front of the whole class. That made you feel really happy. Now, there are three things that happened here. One, the object, which was the test that you wrote. Second, there was a reward, which is the appreciation that you got. And third, which is a generation of emotion where you felt happy. Now, say an alternate week, you gave a test on the same subject, but this time you got 0 out of 10. And your teacher became very disappointed in you. Just like she complimented you in front of everyone, she also scolded you in front of everyone. And this made you feel angry and sad. So again, here three elements occurred. One was the object, which is the test. Here again, the test is the same as the one that had happened before. But instead of a reward, you got a punishment or a pain element. And this pain element combined with the object created an emotion of anger, frustration, and sadness. So this is how, in simpler terms, emotions are typically generated. That's why you see a lot of people who are struggling in life, who are going through difficult situations, few of them, or rather a lot of them, turn to substances as in alcohol or drugs because they are not able to find an object that gives them the reward. Those things never last. Those are never permanent solution. In fact, you should discard those kind of things from your life because they are unhealthy. So now that we understand how emotions are actually generated in our mind, it's just not random. It does definitely has a process. Now let's go back to our problem statement about how this emotion really impacts our physical body. Many years ago, when I was a management graduate, an energy reader had visited our college. And in a fun event, she gifted me a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louis Hay. And that was my first experience of learning how exactly emotions create physical manifestations in our body. In her book, she had mentioned some interesting observations. People who are unable to express themselves or communicate when they are feeling extremely angry, these are the people who develop throat issues like laryngitis, like frequent sore throat, throat pain, etc. etc. You might have yourself experienced this. When you're feeling extremely angry, especially on a loved one, you start to fumble, you start to swell up, and sometimes you also cry. But somehow or the other, you're not able to get those words come out of your mouth because you are just stunted emotionally for that particular time frame. And that happens with a lot of people. But when it happens as a habit, as a habitual process, it starts to create physical manifestations in the throat area. Similarly, people who would have gone through difficult childhood or childhood trauma, people who had lack of love, lack of family bonding when they were growing up, these are the people who tend to hold excess weight around their body. People who always doubt themselves, who have very low self esteem, who are easily angry and are always defensive in nature, they are the ones who always face issues with the digestive system. Now, how exactly it is happening? How are these emotions creating issues with our weight, with our throat, with our digestion? How? Let's look at that. So, according to Veda, our body has 7 vital energy points or chakras, which lies along the spinal cord. So, the first chakra lies in the base of the spinal cord, and the last chakra lies outside of our physical body in our energetic field. So, this is our physical body. We also have an energetic body. So, the last chakra lies in the energetic body. Let's look at the first chakra, which is the Muladhara or the root chakra. The root chakra is thought to affect how you connect to the world and how you control feelings of survival, ambition, dependency, and stability. The second chakra, which is the Swadishthana or the Sacral chakra, this chakra is considered to be responsible for sexuality, creativity, intuitiveness, self worth, compassion, and adaptability. The third chakra is the Manipura or the solar plexus. The solar plexus is the center of self esteem and emotions like ego, frustration, anger, aggression. The next chakra is the heart chakra, which is also called the Anahata. The heart chakra is considered a link to compassion, trust, passion, and love for self and for others. The next chakra is Vishuddha or the throat chakra. The throat chakra is tied to self expression, communication, and confidence. The second last chakra is the Ajna or the third eye chakra, which lies here between our two eyebrows. It's often used as a focal point for conducting meditation or conducting certain asanas or pranayamas. So it is believed to be a point to control your intellect, your intuition, wisdom, and spiritual power. And the last but not the least chakra is the Sahasrara chakra or the crown chakra. It's also known as thousand petaled lotus. Opening the crown chakra is believed to connect a person to their higher self, since it's the place of spirituality, enlightenment, and energetic thoughts. It is tied to our inner wisdom and the cosmos. Now, each of these chakras, as you see, represents a range of emotions. And how we generate emotions, how we categorize and feel different kinds of emotions, sort of overlaps different chakras and has different kinds of physical manifestation. So, like we saw the example where if someone has difficulty in expressing themselves, being assertive during a confrontation, during difficult times, when they are feeling extremely angry, these are the people who store the energy that has right now generated from the emotion in this area, which is the throat area or the throat chakra. Now, this stagnant energy cannot just stay still, because as you know, energy is a moving thing, it's a moving entity, it is never still. So even this chair that I'm sitting on, the energetic particles are moving, it's not just staying still, it's an illusion that we see that it's still. So energy, once it's created, it cannot just stay, or it cannot even be destroyed, it needs to be released. When it is not released, it starts to create stagnation in that area where it's trapped, and when the stagnation is created, physical ailment starts to come. Now, what is the best way to deal with these emotions? The best way to deal with these emotions is to learn how to manage it and not to fight. Here are some non clinical ways in which you can try to manage and empower yourself when you are feeling difficult emotions. Number one, be present in your body. Now, whenever you feel an emotion, you would see that there is an immediate physical manifestation of it. For example, if you're going on a first date, you would have butterflies in your stomach. If you are very angry, very angry, you would feel a heaviness in your chest. If you are afraid, you would see that your hands and feet are getting cold. So, every emotion has a complementary physical manifestation which immediately shows up. When that happens, what we want to do is to remove our focus from the emotion and bring it to our body. If we are feeling heaviness in our chest, just put our attention to it and feel the heaviness, how it's moving through our body. Is it staying at the same place or is it moving? Put your focus to it. What it does is it diverts our attention to the intense emotional power that just got generated in your mind, and it brings our focus, brings our attention to the body, something that we can control. And when you are observing your body, observing the effects that is happening in your body, you can control it maybe by having a glass of water, maybe by deep breathing, maybe by walking. And once you do that, once you neutralize the bodily impact, you will see that the emotional impact has also lost some of its intensity. Second is to be present with the emotion. Now that the emotion has come to a sort of manageable state, has become, say, from 100% to 80% powerful, now is the time when you do not avoid whatever you are feeling, but to be aware of it. If you're feeling jealous, if you're feeling envious, these are some things that we don't want to accept even to ourselves. But you should. You should be very objective, be very transparent with yourself that this is what I'm feeling. Now, for people who are dealing with mental issues like, say, depression, I would recommend that you do it in the presence of a certified therapist or a life coach, because when you do this, right, you are just confronting your emotions. Now, if someone's already in a lot of pain because of their thoughts, because of their mental imbalance, you do not want to put this additional pressure on yourself, because it can easily drive you off the edge. And when we let the emotion work through us, when we let it stay in our presence, it just loses its edge. We are not afraid of it anymore. We are not hiding from it. We are saying that, hey, hi, how are you? Let us talk, let us interact, let us engage to the emotion. And then when we engage with the emotion, we obviously are able to overpower it. Third is yoga or stretching. Now, you would have seen that people who are very stressed, who lead very stressful life, often develop pain in their neck area, or maybe their lower backs are really painful, or maybe their knees are hurting. So these are nothing but energy trapped in various spaces in your body, because it could not release itself when you actually felt it, and you also did not invite that emotion to come and talk to you. So when that happens, these physical ailments can become long-term ailments if you are not focusing on the underlying emotion. The last thing that you want to do is to do breath work or pranayama. It's very popular now in the Western countries, although it originated from our very own Vedas. So, pranayama is a wonderful way in which you modulate your breathing pattern consciously in order to release stagnant energies from different parts of your body. So there are various forms of pranayama, such as even simple breathing in and breathing out, deep breathing is a form of pranayama. Then simple anulom vilom, which is breathing from alternative nostrils, is also good. You could also do advanced, when you go to the advanced level, you could also try doing Kapal Bhati, etc., in order to accelerate both in your spiritual journey as well as in your emotion management process. So I hope that this video was useful to you guys, and I made sense throughout the video. The reason why I did this video is because I myself suffered managing difficult emotions throughout my life. I tried out different methodologies till now, but here were certain things that helped me out, so I just thought to share it and put it forward. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay happy, stay positive, and keep your vibrations way up. Bye-bye.